Yo, what's up, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas? All of y'all in the state of Texas and around the state of Texas. This is Paul Miranda coming live and direct from the box. It's the Real Talk Nation trying to give you something new, something fresh. Definitely keep it different from all the rest. All right, today is Wednesday, 8 p.m. sharp. Let me just check a couple of things right quick. Make sure some things are working properly. Let's make sure some things are going all right. That's going good. We'll check the YouTube channel. Let's see my channel on YouTube. Make sure that. All right. We have liftoff. Okay. All right. I don't need any more introductions on this, do I? Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. If you were in town, oh my goodness. Wait a minute, let me just do this right quick. Let me come out of these right quick. I don't want to keep hearing myself on these other channels. I just wanted to make sure they were up. Listen, if you were here in town, the Duncanville Fieldhouse, oh my God, was there ever a show put on by the TB5 Reports, Kellen Buffington. Opening day was the scene to be. I got to open up with that. We saw some ball games, man. Oh my God, the team from New Jersey. New Jersey? Man, they don't play basketball in New Jersey, do they? I know, right? That's what somebody asked me at the field. Boy, we saw the kid named Zion Cruz, supposed to be one of the nation's finest point guards. He struggled Friday night, opening night. We was a little on shaky ground. I guess jet lag. I'm gonna chalk it up to jet lag a little bit for him. Even though it's a dude named Anthony Black that was all in his you know what. Oh my God, was Anthony Black giving him a hard time. 2 5-second calls drawn. I mean, I got to remind you, Anthony is 6'7", y'all, guarding a 6'2", 6'3" guard like that. And I mean, he was all in his grill, y'all. Big props and shout outs to Anthony Black for the performance that he put on this weekend. Some notable performances. I gotta say Cam Corrin. I hope I'm saying that name right, and I better get used to saying it for real. 6'10", 6'11", guy out of John Paul II. Dude had a block party on everybody. He even played against Team Beast. Was it Team Beast up? Zuby Ejiofor had a hard time dealing with that young man. I'm telling you, block party. Y'all think I'm playing? Let me give you. Hold on, I gotta show you this one, man. Hold on, right quick, y'all. Hang on, let me give you this one right quick. Let me just pull this up right quick. I gotta give you this video right here, man. This was a video that I was impressed with when you talk about Cam Cohen, man. I mean, this dude really brought it, y'all. Pull the downloads up. I'm sorry not to have been ready on that, but boom. Let's bring that up right there. Let's bring that. It's gonna come up. There we go. Let me get that to y'all right there. Watch this young man. Yeah. Let's bring it up. Watch this young man get all of this, bro. Can I? I don't know if I can do that, but We're going slow motion for y'all. Give me a whole bunch of those this weekend by Mr. Cameron Cohen, y'all. Big fella playing for Pro Skills. Jeff Webster, I think, has arguably two of the top five, probably y'all on the cool, probably two of the top prospects in the country right now, for real. You cannot find 6'11", 6'10", that block shots like that can. I'm going to tell you something else about the young man. The young man had in one game, I saw him hit like 4 threes, kick and shoot, inside and out. You got a post-up game. Definitely think you would like this kid, Cam Cohen. Y'all remember that name. I know he's been out there for a while, but a lot of people just really hadn't been talking to him. And looking at the rankings, he's down there a little bit. And I think after this summer, he's going to be one of those high risers as well. We saw Ryan Agarwal also with 3D Hoops continues to shine with that strap he has. He was killing things left and right. I mean, really, him and Anthony Black for 3D Hoops are the perfect 1-2 punch for Sean Ward's group, man, as they continue to win. They took out that New Jersey team. I'm not sure if they went undefeated in this tournament. I think they did. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we'll have him on tonight, and we'll be talking about that. Speaking of which, the show tonight, I got Nina Zavala coming on in a few, about like 8:15-ish. Then after that, we're going to roll with Mr. Sean Ward with 3D Hoops Academy. Then we're going to bring in Frank Byers, y'all. Very interesting story about Frank Byers that I think a lot of y'all really need to, to look at, because he's the kind of story that embodies everything to which a lot of us do this for. Okay. So many of these guys get a lot of the chatter early, or a lot of the chat, the ink, the media love, and so forth because of their performances on the court. This kid, played very solid throughout his AAU career. He was very solid in high school, and had to walk on at Texas A&M, but he was a heck of a student in the classroom. And so he got academic scholarships, and we're going to talk about how he parlayed that into instant success for him. He's going to talk a little bit about that movement, if you will, and how he came up on that. Definitely think it's a story that a lot of you other kids out there that are scholars need to really pay attention to. Some of you parents need to listen to this story as well. My final guest tonight is going to be Paul Washington Sr. Paul Washington is a favorite of mine from back in the day when I had my first podcast, The Heat One Nation used to be the podcast on Blog Talk Radio. He used to coach the Frisco Celtics, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th grade. And later on, went to end up being the head coach at Findlay Prep, where his son, PJ, starred at as well. And before PJ moved on to Kentucky. A lot of you guys said he wasn't going to be much, but ended up going to Kentucky, and now he's playing for the Charlotte Hornets. We'll talk a lot about that around like 9:30-ish, somewhere around there. He's in Mexico right now, and he's going to join us, man. So definitely, we're getting lucky right now, the Real Talk Nation, as far as these people being out of town. Last week, if you missed it, David Peavy, Duncanville head coach, boys head coach, basketball head coach, was on live and direct with us from the lake house, an undisclosed lake house. Let me go ahead and put it like that. Vacation and unwinding from a grueling, season to where, you had to overcome the COVID issues and just keeping kids healthy all year and trying to secure another state championship, which would have been the 3rd straight in all of our eyes here in the DFW. I know Houston will, beg to differ, but, Houston, y'all don't really matter when it concerns us anyway, so we're not going to go there. Anyway, yeah, got another guy on vacation right now saying, hey, Paul, I'd love to do it. I need to be on there with you, man. Let's go back on old times. So Paul Washington Sr. will be on tonight. So I'm really looking forward to that. Getting back to the tournament, actually, y'all, you know what? Let me throw this on right quick because I need to send my thing out to my girl right quick. Hang on a second. Let's just send this link to her right fast. Hang on a second so she can come on live with and direct with us. Let me just copy and paste this. Boom. As you know, this is my second show on this and this new system, Restream. Love this site. You know, it's going to help us, you know, see who we're talking to, and you guys get to see me as I do what I do. So I'm real excited about this. So hang on, let me just send that to her right now. Click that on right there. Boom. And who we said next is going to be Shawn, right? Yeah. All right. So Shawn. One more. There we go. All right. So with that said, going back to the Cameron Cohen, you know, was one of the guys I thought. Ryan Agarwal showed up real good. Zion Cruz came back and had a great Saturday. You know, they played 2 games, one against Team Trey Young, where he absolutely killed. They also had a nightcap up against Urban DFW. And Urban DFW Elite is off to a hot start. I think they have won all 3 of their games this weekend, both the 16s and 17s. So shout out to Jade Hartwell and well, I don't know if her last name is Hartwell, but Jade, Jazzy's daughter, and Coach Pert and the staff for the fine showing, keeping the tradition going. Look like I said, those teams haven't lost what they were built on, and that's hard work and nothing but effort was shown out of them. So it was good to see them do what they did. My featured player of the weekend, man, no doubt was Dallas Hobbs, y'all. I don't know if I got a couple of videos. Hang on a second, Nina. I see you in the green room in there. Let me just grab this last video right quick. Couple videos right here. I wanted to show, I don't know if you guys had seen the couple of postings that I put out there on Dallas, but wow, Dallas was pretty good this weekend. Let me just show this one right quick. Boom. So I don't know if I got too much stuff open or whatever. Close some of this stuff out. Look at that speed, man. Well, I guess we couldn't see that. I needed to open that up, but all right, we'll come to that another time. All right, so without any further ado, there she is. Oh, you live now. I didn't mean to catch you when you was working on that hair right now. My bad.
This is as good as it's getting right now.
Nina Zavala. Hey. All right, Nina. You know, long history, long unknown history. A lot of people don't, a lot of people know you, but a lot of people don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I know of you. I know a little bit about you, and I'm definitely looking forward to knowing more about you tonight on this show. Definitely want to thank you, first of all, for joining us. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, especially with these coaches calling in, I don't know if you're handling the schedule or not. I know you're not handling the schedule, thank God. But
thank God.
Yeah, because I'm the streets are telling me that the phones and the Twitters and all that stuff is just blowing up right now.
Yeah.
The schedule.
No, well,
I'm not gonna do you like that though. We're not gonna talk about that because your thing is the marketing, side of all that. Fill us in. What exactly do you do? People don't know you. Give them an idea exactly what you do and why you are important as you are right now. I know you don't take the road of now I'm not nobody and all that, but go ahead.
So marketing is complex, very broad. So it's just really contingent on what project or event I'm working on. But so marketing, of course, PR, you know, event logistics, things of that nature. But like I said, it's just really, you know, marketing with events. It goes into promotions and sponsorship. Sponsorship is a really big one. And yeah, so it just, like I said, it's just really contingent on that.
So
but it's a lot of
kind of shaking down some trees.
It's a lot of behind the scenes work, though. I will say that it's definitely a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And a lot has to go into like creating decks and presentations and sponsorship thing. You know what I mean? Like actual marketing materials that go to certain people or help with certain strategies. So it's like things that are not necessarily visible to the public sometimes, or actually majority of the time. So it's really hard to explain a lot of, you know, or for people to see a lot of what I do. You kind of hit the scene about like 5 or 6 years ago, probably a little bit more. What got you into this? I was actually working at a sports agency, doing marketing, PR. And it was a football NFL sports agency. So I kind of started there, and I had got introduced to Deion Sanders at that time. So then I started doing his Monday Night Football event, which really took off, and you know, we started to build the relationship there. And then you know, he opened Prime Prep school. So then you know, I started working on the athletics side for Prime Prep. And that's when I kind of got introduced to basketball, of course.
Ooh, and that must have been a thorn in y'all side back in them days. God, my bad, Nina. I didn't know you was all in there like that.
Yeah, so that's where it started, and then of course it evolved throughout the years. You know, I just stayed in the game, continued building my relationships. You know, a lot of the things that I did to begin with, I did, you know, for free. And, you know, at the time I was just really gaining knowledge and understanding, but all I could see on my marketing, from my marketing lens, was this is a prospective industry that actually needs marketing. And yeah, like it was opportunity, you know, from, you know, the kids, the events, the actual AAU programs. I mean, there was just opportunity, and I just I knew I had to get in and understand how everything worked, and, you know, go from there.
We're in a marketing business, period. This AAU stuff, this evaluation stuff, you know, these games, these kids trying to get scholarships, these coaches giving out scholarships. It's a business. And you kind of really hit that to a point right there. What do you say to some of these teams that have these good players, you know, probably, you know, top collegiate players that are not getting that kind of exposure or that marketing that you're aware? Do you kind of approach teams on that, or you kind of just let everybody come to you on that?
It just really, it honestly really depends. I think now, I would say before I would do more of the approaching, whether, you know, like for instance, not just with just teams, but like for instance with the Elite 14, you know, I remember I had my
Wichita Falls.
Yes, Wichita Falls, Elite 14. I had first attended that event, you know, when Prime Prep, actually it was API was playing. We had Trayvon Duval, you know, Terrence Ferguson, all of those kids.
Terrence Ferguson.
And it was such a great event. And I was like, why does nobody know about this event? You know, like outside of just the core people that were there. It was just, it was just, and then even obtain the information about the event or anything, it was just, you couldn't really get in touch with anybody. So, so in a case like that, I approached them because I just, you know, I was like, if they had some marketing, if you know, had some PR behind them, a push, like I knew that event would blow up and, you know, be able to garner sponsorship and,
bring more college coaches in. So now I think I'm at a standpoint to where I really want to do more of teaching across the board, whether it's, creating workshops or seminars or anything like that, from, helping these AAU teams and events, learn the, I guess, like this whole sponsorship acquisition. Like, what are sponsors looking for? How do you get them? What is it? How do you keep them? It's not, you can go get them, but how do you keep them? Because at first they're sponsors, but after you continually working with that particular sponsor, they then, flourish into partnerships, because now there's value on both ends. So,
no doubt.
I don't, like, for me just to work a program or one certain school, I just think it's something now that needs to be taught across the board.
Why do you say that? Exactly.
With this generation that we are, and when I say we, like these kids, like these young kids, they are considered Generation Z. And they are the most influential generation that we have ever witnessed, basically. And by that, it's like their social media following, their kids, their social media followings are insane. And they have like these, this cult-like following, and they're very influential. And which means that they harness a vast majority of purchasing power in our country. So with that being said, believe it or not, a lot of corporate companies, they don't know how to reach this generation. They don't. They're so used to traditional marketing. Let's go put something on a billboard. Let's go put a commercial up during Super Bowl, or just traditional marketing things. But these kids are not watching TV. They're not riding around in a car looking at billboards. They are on social media. That's where, you're mostly going to catch their attention. But we are surrounded by that particular generation. So it's more like me positioning myself to help, coaches, media people, whoever it is, become like that liaison between corporate and this generation. And even teaching them, understanding that they are their own personal brand. Sometimes they don't really grasp it,
Okay. I get that. That's solid stuff right there. You're in this game now. You're to me one of the big wigs in this game now. What do you think the game is really going to? How has it evolved? We talked about the social media stuff being the biggest aspect right now. What are some of the things that's killing the game to you that you feel that we need to, as a community, improve on from that? What's your perspective on it?
I honestly, my biggest pet peeve in this industry right now, or this niche of an industry that we work in, is just I had kind of tweeted something the other day about the unprofessional. Meaning that it could be something as simple as somebody's email address, or the the response or the responding to emails, or it's almost like I tell these program directors, coaches, you have to run your program like a business, like, because basically that's what it is, And this industry is so tainted when it comes to that, because there's no accountability. There's nobody like you really have to answer to. So when there's no accountability, you can just continue doing what you've been used to doing. But when you then, come across somebody that's professional and is possibly trying to, sponsor your program, or, doing interviews, whatever the case, or even parents, dealing with parents. The biggest complaint that I hear from parents is how unorganized some of these organizations are. They send me the we have to book our flight last minute, or, we don't even have an itinerary. We don't know what hotel we're staying at. It's a lot of those things that could simply be done just being more organized, or even if you can't do it, hire somebody to do it. Find an intern.
Exactly.
You know,
free advice for the Real Talk Nation. What do I have to do to improve my brand? What you know of it? What would you tell me?
I'm gonna tell you one thing in PR. I don't care what you say about me, as long as you spell my name right.
Did I spell it wrong?
No, I'm just saying it's actually like a cliche saying, meaning that
yeah.
You're very eccentric, you're very outspoken, but
no doubt
people gravitate to that because you're real, you're genuine, you're gonna tell it like it is. You're very opinionated.
Okay.
And people gravitate to that because they know what why? Because they know what they're getting. They know what they're getting with you.
Yes.
What what people don't like is like having to feel Matt, like, is he sneaky? Is he, is he gonna mess me over? That type of,
Yeah. I get that. What advice would you give a kid, as parents, that top-notch kid? He can go to Adidas or he can go to Nike. What advice would you give them as far as this game? What would be the best piece of advice for you to give to a parent out there?
Honestly, I mean, I don't something to where it goes one way or the other, because for myself, I wouldn't ever want to be held like responsible if something didn't go right. You know what I mean? Or
yes, ma'am.
But for the most part, it's always about outweighing your pros and cons. You could go over here and it looks sexy, but you might be sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
You can go over here. It just really depends on what you want for your kid, and like your whole, like, it's like, this is the way I see it. You're building, each of these programs have their own culture, right? That they're supposedly supposed to be building, right? You have your culture. Do those values of that culture of that program align with your values as a parent?
Right. Bingo. I get that. What do you think? And you're an Adidas person, right? It's safe to say that.
I wouldn't necessarily. Not exclusive, but for the most part.
Okay. What are the biggest misconceptions that you think people view as far as Adidas is concerned that you'd like to say, that ain't that? Is there anything out there like that you think of like that? One thing in particular? No.
Nothing. You tell me something that you heard, and then I
don't know. I'm just asking if there's anything that people just think about Adidas that's not true or anything. I try to ask that with everybody on that. But all right, so we'll move on to that. We'll move on away from all that because there ain't nothing there. All right, so I thought there might be something there or not. I just asked that. All right, so parties. Talk to me about these extravaganza parties, events that you be having that I ain't got no invite to, by the way. But we'll go there. Yeah, okay. What parties? Talk to me about the event plannings, man, that you do, because I know you like NCAA parties. I think I saw one time Super Bowl event that you're a part of. How'd you get involved with all that? I know you said something about through Prime Prep. Was that the continuance of that? Or?
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. So, with the Super Bowl, that's when I was working at the agency, the sports agency. We would do an annual.
But you still doing that though. You still been throwing them kind of gigs like that.
That's where it started though. But as far as I've learned that I could, so for instance, like I've done college coach events, right? Final Four. Well, I'll use that as an example. If if there's a big event happening, such as Final Four, really, nobody really. You have your certain people that go to the actual Final Four game, but for the most part, there's a whole week full of events that take place, whether they're, night parties, day parties, luncheons, seminars, symposiums. And those are opportunities that people like myself capitalize off of, you know, because everybody's, instead of having to just do a one-off event in Dallas, right? It's more like, I'm about to create an event where everybody's already there. All of these college coaches are there. All of the, you know, all of our basketball media community, you know, is there. So why not create an event that, you know, brings everybody together? And from there, it's like, that's how my, you know, my relationship started building, and, you know, and then people look forward to it. So, and those opportunities expand to other opportunities. But I love doing events. I put together, and you know, being able to connect other people and seeing other, you know, business opportunities flourish. Or
well, you threw a hell of a party in Austin last August. I mean, you
no, that was you.
You killed it. You killed that.
No,
I was like, damn, you know how to throw a party. Shit,
Look,
I ain't been getting no invite.
6 pennies later.
I just wanted to get that at you a little bit on that. All right, so Prime Prep. All right, matter of fact, you're an SMU graduate and so forth. Prime Prep. Talk to me family-wise. You know, I've been seeing some pictures. You know, kids. I'm seeing a little baby. I thought I saw. That's talk to me. What's going on over there?
That's the G baby.
G, you're a grandmother? Get the hell out of here. No way.
Had a little girl, and no, she's my world. It's you hear people talk about it, but it's like a different love. But it's so different, but in the sense that she has literally changed my whole entire life. I mean,
no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, of course, really great, but yeah, that's my world now.
So how's that grandbaby life? I mean, grandma life. I mean, how you coping with that? Do they live with y'all or no?
Yeah.
They live with you? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How you dealing with that?
I mean, it's great. Yeah. No, some people may not, you know, it's just to each their own, but I truly enjoy it. You know, my daughter is doing great. She's going to school. She's got her job. You know what I mean? Like she's responsible. So it's not like I feel obligated to do anything, but I want to, you know?
No doubt. It's your daughter. It's your granddaughter.
And I want to make sure, you know, she's set up for life. You know, I started her own little company. She has her own little online boutique. But yeah, and she does have a dual heart disease. And I knew that, you know, because she wasn't going to be able to play sports or, you know, live that normal life as a kid as she grew, you know, as she was growing up, I wanted her to have something that she could, you know, be involved in, engage in, work with, and which is why I started her own little company.
Okay. That's awesome. I did not know. I thought I saw a picture of a little baby. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I ain't seen no stomach out there.
Know.
Yeah, there you go. That's me. So I'm like, wait a minute. So let me just go on and ask.
Yeah, let's just ask. Get out.
God bless you. God bless you. I know Craig would have been disappointed had it been you, but no, we'll move around. We'll say that one for another time. But Nina, what can I expect from you? You know, in the future, what's in the future for the ZAVALA group right now? Nina ZAVALA group. What can we expect to see from you here?
Like I said, I really am going to start working on, you know, my workshops, or, you know, kind of just doing it that way instead of versus just opportunities with people, because I really want to help. I want it to be, you know, not just one program, not just one school, not just one, you know, company. I want to be able to help everybody across the board if they want, you know, that help. So yes, and then of course we got the event coming up, you know, this weekend. Future wise, Katie Hoop Fest. That's a big one on the list.
Okay. Who? Yeah, that's a good one right there. I didn't want to get into it with you about the tournament, so I would just want to, you know, because a lot of Twitter stuff been going on, so I'm not going to get into it with you about the Twitter.
But I will say this. Weekend. I would highly suggest if you were thinking about coming out that you, because we have a really, really big.
No, I'm coming regardless.
No, I'm talking about your audience here.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, we have a really. We can't say anything just yet, but it's.
I know 3D Hoops gonna be there.
Oh,
I'm getting.
Look, the commodity right now.
Yeah. Hey, Nina,
the highest requested commodity. We'll say that.
Yeah. I know people are going at my boy's head right now. You know, but it's all good. I love
as long as everybody understands that there's nothing wrong with competition. Competition is healthy.
Boom.
We need it. It pushes you to be better, do better, work harder, you know, and there's nothing wrong with it, you know, and just but I love the passion with these coaches. I love it, you know, and that's like another thing that draws me to this industry.
Okay. Nina, I ain't gonna hold you up. I just wanted to get you in a little bit and talk with you, chat with you a little bit. This will be the first of many more shows to come with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Definitely want to make sure that you're aware of that. We're not going to just have you on once in a lifetime. I mean, you know how I feel about you. You're my girl.
No,
so,
I appreciate you. You've been
definitely
super supportive throughout the years, and I thank you for sure.
No doubt. Anything you're doing, you know, I'm in. Just let me know.
Sure
so I appreciate you coming on. I ain't going to hold you. I'm going to get to my next guest. SHAWN Ward is in the green room right now. Yes. It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
Yeah. Nina, thank you for coming on. I hope you have a great evening, and I'll see you this weekend. All right, take care. There she is, my girl, Nina Zavala, y'all. She is one heck of a lady right there. She knows what she's talking about. She knows how to make moves. Oh my goodness, she gets it done, man. What else can I say on that? Hang on, let me see here, my boy. There he is. SHAWN Ward, 3D Hoops Academy is in the building. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sean? I'm waiting on you. Can you hear me? Hang on, let me clear this out right quick. Hang on. All right, so this is what I was worried about. You know what I'm saying? Let me just clear that out of the way. Sean, can you hear me? Sean, you might have to reconnect in. Go out and come back in. You hear me? You can't hear me? Hang on, y'all. Sean is calling from a cell number, y'all. One second. What is this? Sean, can you hear me? Sean, you're going in and out. Hold on. Bear with me, y'all. Right here.
He said, come back, go back in.
You know, so I'm trying to text him right now. Something goes on with these, you know, when you call in from the cell line, y'all. So we had that problem last week. And all right, so let's see right here. Sean, can you hear me now?
Buddy.
Good. All right, thank you very much. All right, so let me do that right there. SHAWN Ward, y'all, 3D Hoops Academy. Man of the hour, man. Everybody has been going at your head here lately.
I like it, man.
You know, hey, man, talk to me about what that's like right now, as if I don't know. I want to hear it from yours, because ain't nothing like to me, you know, in this game, a white boy going at it, you know, toe-to-toe, regardless of who it is he talk to me on this,
Well,
man.
I think, man, like, for any of the old dudes that have been in Dallas-Fort Worth for a long time, who remember me as a hooper growing up in Grapevine and going to all the parks and going to Stop Six and Texas Wesleyan playing in the Top Gun League, you know, when I used to come back from playing overseas, like everybody will tell you, man, just like how fierce of a competitor I was when I played. And that's all it is, man. It's just competition, man. I just love competition, you know, and everybody has their own brand, their own teams that they feel a certain sort of way about. And I feel a certain sort of way about what I do. And, you know, and it's like, I don't care if it's bulletin board material or whatever, man. If I feel like I got the best squad around, I'm going to let you know about it. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. And should be. And should be.
Yeah. And it's not in a disrespectful way to anybody. You know, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. It's just, you know, it's just how I feel. And it's an opinion, man. You don't have to believe me. It's just an opinion. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. The Florida Night Riders.
Yeah.
Do you even know them dudes, or do they even know you? I mean, what's that be? I didn't really see it. I just kind of heard about it. I mean, where did that come from, man? Where did these dudes come from?
So, you know, Paul, I think, man, you know, from the conversations I've had the last couple of weeks, I guess they won the Peach Jam a couple of years ago when, you know, the last time the UIBL took place. Sunday, I guess some stuff's kind of transpired on Twitter. You were sitting next to me. I was in the middle of a game. You were against Dynasty, and I guess some stuff started popping off on Twitter about it. And you know, I've never talked to them. I don't know who they are. They felt some sort of way about, you know, how I said that, you know, I feel like I got the best player in the class of 2022, and you know, they feel they have the best, you know, the best player and best team. And, you know, I'm looking forward to the chance that we have to play them. You know, I'm back from anybody, you know, I'll play anybody, anytime, anywhere. It don't matter. You know what I mean? And so I think they're going to be here for a bus tournament. Who wants to smoke?
Who wants to smoke?
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll just lace them up and see what happens, man. It's all fun. It's all comp. So it is.
Man, I can't wait. I was talking with Buff about that today. You know, I kind of been on the outside of all that kind of talk here lately because, you know, trying to reinvent myself a little bit by going into different circles away from that kind of stuff now. You know, got the podcast and I'm coming in, so I'm trying to lay low a little bit, right? So I saw that, and I'm talking with Buff about that today, and I'm talking with another dude the day earlier about it, and I was like, wow, dudes are coming at Sean like that. You know, my thing is when people come at you like that, you must got something that's positive because they wouldn't be coming at you if you didn't. So,
well, you know, I feel a certain sort of way about this group. This group has been with me for a long time, going back to when Terrence and Nas and Anthony and Ryan and Zane were in the 5th grade. So they've been with me for a good number of years. I've kind of seen this coming to a head for quite some time. Resume over the last 3 years is remarkable with the amount of shoe teams that we've beat and have on our resume. And, you know, I think this is the time. Like, I'm not backing down from anybody. I know there's teams out there that don't want to play us for whatever reason. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just a game. That's my new slogan this year, man. It's like, it's just a game. Let's up and play, like, regardless, win, lose, just a game. But I feel certain sort of way about these dudes, and I feel like they're the best around. I feel like I have the best team, and you know, I'm super excited about what's coming up, you know, the next 6 months.
I've had the privilege of watching you, you know, for quite some time now, and watching that same group that you're talking about. I know we're supposed to go into talking about Anthony Black first, but my guy, you know, Slim Doug Millionaire, you know, that's my dude right there. Ryan Agarwal, you know, hey, I saw him when he was in the 7th grade and blew me the out the water, bro. I was like, I called you immediately. You remember that conversation? Sean, what the hell are you doing? You said, what, Paul? I said, man, this Indian kid over here is killing this. He's on your second team. What are you doing? What are you saying, man? I got to see your first team. You said, no, Paula, we're just trying to bring him along into the program, let him get used to everything. We run a lot of plays. And then I got to watching you. Oh, my God. How many plays do y'all call a game? Like right now, how many plays does that team have?
Our top team, I mean, we roughly have like 25, 30 plays. It's not a lot.
God, it seems like so much more.
A lot, but, you know, there's a lot of read options off each of them. And You know, I think we'll get into Ryan here in a second, but like just going into that, I remember going back to last summer after coming off the pandemic, I really kind of overcoached early just to get the execution piece down to it. Where this time around, like I didn't really overcoach this past weekend. I kind of let the guys just be dudes and just play. You know, I really wanted to get Terrence and Cam acclimated to kind of what we do. Having those guys, they have a lot of individual talent where they need freedom. I want them that opportunity to express themselves. So the set piece stuff, like we got like 25, 30 plays where that all kind of goes off each other. But going back to Ryan, where we initially began this is, you know, you did. I mean, it was in the 7th grade. I remember we saw him over at Brian Nawali's tournament that he put on over in Louisville. And, you know, Brian early on and he had a great feel for the game. Like he just wasn't physically enough. You know, physically able to play with our top team at the time, Paul.
But, he was skinny, super skinny.
But if you know basketball, that you could see that there was something special about Ryan in the going in 7th grade. And the one thing I never wanted to happen to Ryan was for him to take a back seat behind Terrence, Nas, and AB at that time. I never wanted to do for Ryan because the one thing he struggled at was confidence. And the only way I could pull the confidence out of Ryan was having him be the dude. Like the only way our second team was ever going to win is if Ryan was the dude. All the pressure on his shoulders to win games. I wanted all the pressure on his shoulders to be competitive, quite frankly. Next 2 years, Paul, is it gave him a sense of confidence of that it didn't matter who he played with, he was turning into a dude. Move him over going into the 9th grade with AB and Nas and those guys and Terrence and Jacob and Zane. Like he just went right in as like, dude, I already know what I'm good at. I can go spots. I can shoot shots with confidence. These guys aren't going to look at me like I'm a 2nd-tier player. They're going to look long. And that's all it is, man. It was a really simple recipe, man, if you think back to it. And coaches, I got to give a lot of credit to my coaching staff, like Coach Mike and Coach CJ, that they were always around Ryan in his ear, helping build his confidence up. And I remember, like, we would go into games, and there would be, like, some close games at the end, and my coaches would always call a timeout because I didn't coach Ryan very much in the 7th and 8th grade. It was always my And every single play to draw up to win a game would go through Ryan. And we put all the pressure on him to shoot the shot to win the game. And that just transpired into him being a great player moving forward.
No doubt. I don't know if you saw my Twitter rant about a month ago, a month and a half, 2 months ago maybe, about what if Ryan Agarwal was black or if he was white, how high would his ranking would have been? You know, because honestly, the kid is super talented, can shoot no matter where he's at on the floor. I seen him practicing shooting, sitting down on the bench, you know, trying to shoot from the bench, you know, just to show you how his range is. And I'm like, you know, the guy plays above the rim. He can handle the ball and go by you. He can pass the ball. And, you know, it just got to me that this kid is not what I felt is ranked at where he should have been. Now, the new rankings, well, for Gasso or Texas Hoops, if you will, they got him up there now. You know, and so big props to them because there were some guys. Matter of fact, one of the guys got mad at me for using him as you know the measuring stick. You know, and their coaches got upset with me. You know, and said that I didn't have to do that, or you know. But sometimes I feel like I got to ring the bell. I gotta ring that alarm on for kids like that because no one else is doing it. You know what I'm saying? And because everybody's kind of hesitant about speaking about how good that kid really is just because he don't pass the eye test. What's your thoughts on that for a kid like Ryan? You know, you seeing him where he was ranked, you know, how did that have you feeling and to where he's ranked now? What do you feel? So, you know, I mean, it was always an uphill battle for people to kind of listen to what I had to say about Ryan. I think like, you know, on Ryan's commitment day, Buff had put out a piece like
I was screaming at the top of my lungs, telling everybody like Ryan was going to be a dude. Ryan was going to be a player. So it was always an uphill battle to try to convince guys. I think you saw it early with Ryan. So it's easy for you because you saw it, in front of your eyes. Like a lot of these ranker guys don't get out into the gym and put in the time like you guys do when these kids are in the 6th, 7th, 8th grade to kind of see what they can become. As far as Ryan individually, like he's so unique. Like there's nobody that I've seen in Texas that is like him. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys who can shoot the ball. There's a lot of guys that are really athletic. Ryan is so undervalued on his athletic ability that his shooting, overshadows that because he is a pretty good athlete and lateral movement, plays above the rim. But he works extremely hard. Like the amount of work he puts in to develop his athletic ability is uncanny. Like it really is. And I think you kind of saw that in his commitment video where he's got several different trainers that help him out with that type of stuff. But he's such a unique player. There's nobody like him. And the piece of whether he's white, black, like I don't really get into all that. I just care about like how he is as a basketball player.
And I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying that for me. Because I know how some of these dudes act. So I just want to know how you felt on the ranking.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, like I think 3 years ago, if you would ask me about all the ranking stuff, Paul, I would have said, man, I don't care. Like I know in my heart if a dude's a dude. If I tell a college coach a dude's a dude, I think I got enough skins on the wall to where they'll just listen to me like, Sean, we know what you're talking about. Like he could play. You know what I mean? I think now with the whole AB situation with the ranking stuff, like it's really kind of starting to get to me just because I know how special he is. But with Ryan, I mean, look, he's an elite shooter. His game is going to translate at the highest level. You see it with the way the basketball is evolving, with guys running their lanes, getting out, shooting threes. Like I can't wait to see him at the next level with him just running down, sitting in the corner and waiting for a PG to break a D down and transition and kick to him, man. It's like automatic. You know what I mean? And then inside out, kick outs. I mean, it's just wet. You know what I mean? Like you just chuck it.
Everything he does translates to the next level. And that's what I've been kind of ringing that alarm about. And I just hate that he's going, don't get me wrong, Stanford's great. There's no doubt. But it's too far away from me. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see this dude play in Texas somewhere, being honest.
Paul, that you say that is, I think a lot of the head coaches in college, and I'm not afraid to say it, I think a lot of head coaches would be shocked if they asked their assistant coaches to type in Ryan Agarwal on their text thread and see if his name pops up. And then it's just a dead text. You know what I mean? I think every coach in college should do that. When a kid when a kid like makes it, hey, let me see your text thread. Let me see if your name pops up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good point there. All right, so we almost spend the whole show on Ryan. That's my baby. My other baby though, Anthony Black. You have said it religiously right now, number one player in probably, not only the state, but the country. And that class is so loaded. And you got Case and Wallace right now, who I ain't gonna lie, I absolutely love. He's a dog on both ends. I think he has some things that a lot of these kids don't have. At the same time, Anthony, same thing. He has a lot of stuff that everybody else doesn't have. There are a couple things that are missing though. You know what I'm saying? Knocking down shots. We and him have kind of talked about that. I always felt that his little brother was more killer attitude wise than him, and he's kind of pumped that. Everything you kind of talk to him about, it seems like he kind of fixes. You know what I'm saying? The way he's changing up. Give me what it's been like. Bringing him up. You've had him since the 5th grade. You've watched this maturation process from beginning to wherever this thing is headed with him. Talk to me about that. Talk to me why you feel he should be number one.
So, look, I think Anthony is the best two-way player right now. And by that, I mean, it encompasses everything. It encompasses defense. It encompasses rebounding from his position, passing. Does he have to?
And he's 6'7".
Yeah, and like you can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Genetics.
No.
I'm not real too familiar with what other kids' genetics are, but I know what Anthony's genetics are. Both parents playing, college athletes. Yeah. And with him being, freshly turned 17, like he turned 17 a month ago.
Right.
Not like this 19-year-old holdback or anything.
In Florida?
No, I don't care. I don't get into all that stuff, but
Yeah.
And you talked to me about his little brother being a killer. Well, the one thing that Anthony is he plays with a chip on his shoulder. And sometimes that's different than having a killer mentality.
Right.
Sometimes I think a killer mentality is something that you're just kind of born with. You get out and you just want to destroy whoever's
everything.
Anthony is a little different because he plays with a chip on his shoulder because he's been so disrespected for so long.
Yes.
Yes. And a lot of times what people don't see is in my academy, we train 8 to 10 times a month and we play 3 tournaments a year. 3 tournaments a month. A month from 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. So we're always in the gym where people really don't see it on a consistent basis. And so like there's weekends that when he was in the 5th, 6th, 7th grade, when we're going against dudes and he's out there competing and you just see it. And then you go back and, the whole social media piece of it is talking about other dudes and leaving him off of it when he should be part of it.
No doubt.
All that has played, it's kind of festered into where we are today. But, you don't find a lot of 6'7" guys who can handle the ball like he can and has the court vision like he does. His shot is getting a lot better. Range is getting a lot better. It's a lot smoother. Now he's got to work on some things to get it off quicker. And that's something that we're working on all the time in the gym is just kind of developing that aspect of his game. But he's always been a competitor. And what I like when I watch little kids, Paul, is on a made basket, how does the kid react? And Anthony always reacted is like he wanted to be a one-man press. Like we scored and he was like, I'm picking up 94 feet. I don't care. And that's something that's always said with me about just how much he cares about defense. And I think you saw last Friday, like,
shut Zion down.
We had the opportunity to play against another really good player, a kid that's, top 20 in the country. And Anthony took it personal and showed it on a national stage what he could do, and he locks down. Like defense is his number one priority. All that other stuff is a bonus, And
2 5-second calls he threw on that kid who's smaller and he's much quicker supposedly. But man, I was super impressed with that, man. I was like, whoa, this dude is in the conversation now for the top player. To me, and it's it's a marathon, not a sprint. And for that end result. And that's what I keep trying to tell everybody. These guys still got one more year. You know what I'm saying? And that race ain't nearly over with. Some guys are kind of going up and etching up a little bit, but you got guys that are, because like Terrence Arsenault, another kid out of Beaumont, who's I've seen him a few times and he hasn't done anything in front of me. And in the state championship, he is everything, in this game. You know what I'm saying? And now you're seeing what everybody's saying about him. So, the race is still on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I can tell you this. The one thing about Anthony is that I recognize is his anticipation on defense is something like he's sniff out what the other team is doing is incredible. And you brought up Terrence Arsenault, and we had the opportunity to play him last year. Towards the very end when he played SGP, him and Amari, which is I think Amari, I think it's
Abrams,
amazing basketball player, by the way.
Yes.
Give kudos to kids. Like that's just not my cup of tea. Like I got a lot of pride in who I got in my program. Play basketball, but we played them, and like for me, and I think we popped them by 15-20, but like AB was the best player on the court. It just is what it is. So I think going back to the rankings part of it, Gasso put out a ranking last week that had Terrence ahead of Anthony. And I think when we do rankings, man, it's so weird because it's there's a high school part of it, and then there's an AAU part of it. You know what I mean? And for me, like, man, we got to stick to one of the two because it's too much inconsistency. Because a lot of times these kids can't control the high school environment they're in. They're just at a high school, and ranking guys kind of take it out on what's going on, you know, for the high school.
Right.
You know.
Right. Agree. We don't definitely want to make this just about Ryan Agarwal and Anthony Black. There's a couple other guys on the team. Nazir Brown, Terrence Ramirez both of these guys had a hell of a showing this weekend. I thought. Talk to me about them. You know, the contributions that they've made to the program, and what you feel what they're headed for future-wise.
You know, Nas and Terrence used to play for a team called like the Texas Longhorns or something like that, like in the grade, so they kind of knew about each other. And when Nas came over to the 5th grade, you know, that relationship that they had, you know, Nas's dad, Byron, his mom, Jamelia, they used to come to our practices and watch, and they're like, yo, this is legit. Let's Terrence. We got to get Terrence in. He's from Grapevine. Let's bring him in. We practice in Grapevine. So it was just like a seamless transition for those people, you know, for them to come and play. And, you know, I love them to death. Like, they're like my kids, man. I would step in front of a car for them. I tell every coach that I talk to about them, just what type of players they are. You know, again, I think they've been undervalued this entire time. They're super consistent. You know, as far as basketball players, their resume speaks for themselves. In high school, they both have averaged double digits. They both have been first-team all-district players. And I think the world of them. I think they're going to be amazing college basketball players. And what's even better is, like, they're just great kids, man. Like, you want to be around them, you know, and that's one thing why I love what I do, man, because I build this connection with them. And, like, I look forward to getting into the gym and working with them. And,
no doubt.
You know, and really, like, those two guys, and you add Cam Emery to the mix, like, last summer and this summer, like, I got 3 dudes that at any time I could put them 3 dudes on the court with AB and Ryan, and it's a wrap, dude. Like, nobody, I didn't even do that this weekend. Like, it was, didn't do it all the time.
You played them in and out. Yeah.
And so
we noticed
if I put them 5 dudes on the court, it's a wrap, bro. Like, nobody can go up and down with us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like if you think about it, with Ryan and AB being 6'7", I can bump them to the 4 and a 5. AB can guard up, and who's going to guard them 2 on the other end? Like, it's crazy. I mean, and Cam Emery's like, he just brings this flavor of no fear to the game, Paul. Like, it's unbelievable, man. Like, I was telling Sloan, because, you know, he's a Houston guy, Cam's a Houston guy. Like,
no doubt.
Like, Cam is what Max is doing at Oral Roberts. Like, he just doesn't care. There's no fear, man. And those 3 dudes are amazing basketball players. They're going to be really good. They're going to be really good next year in the years to come.
Yeah, and it's funny, you talked about Cam. I was just talking with someone earlier today, actually Buff again, and actually we were talking about Brian Zambi and how he looked.
Oh, Alec, his younger brother.
And Alec. I was gonna say Alex. I'm sorry, Alec. Zambi, and I'm gonna tell you, Buff said something that was on point, man, and I was like, man, I ain't think about that. He's been a year under you now, and more comfortable now. You know what I'm saying? And he's making those 50-50 plays, those, you know, loose balls. I mean, 2 breakaway, 2 dunks. I mean, 1 through the offense, 1 on a breakaway. Talk to me about how you're coaching, and everybody knows he's a older kid being, talk to me about his work ethics. Talk to me about the training that you had to put in with this dude for him to really get a grasp of what 3D Hoops Academy does. Because definitely last year he looked like he was lost. He didn't fit in. Go ahead on that.
The one thing that changed for Alec is once the summer ended last year, Paul, he came to our Sunday night practices through the school season. And we require that for all of our high school players. We train every Sunday night for 2 hours. They have to be there. And we do a ton of stuff, ton of skill work. And he was there. And you kind of start seeing that kind of manifest right now. The one thing also that Alec does is through his school season, he wakes up and trains with my assistant coach, CJ McElrath, who played at West Point and then Kennesaw State. He trains with him at 5 o'clock in the morning in Grapevine. And he puts in the work with CJ. And you kind of start to see that. Like you saw that the other day when you was playing, like that dunk that he had in the set piece of offense that we were doing, like it changed the whole dynamic of the game. You know what I mean? Dynasty was on a run, and then he did that, and then he came down and got a steal and had another dunk. And it just, like, you just kind of see, like, the confidence building in him and our team. You know, it was a huge moment for us last Sunday. But, again, like, that's another kid that comes from a basketball family. He has high basketball IQ, and he's worked a ton on his game individually and to kind of start to fit into our system to kind of see what he can do as a basketball player. That's one thing about our system, Paul, is when you get into college, it's not pickup basketball. You know what I mean? And I think that's one thing, like, why we've been able to be so successful and beat the types of teams that we beat over the last couple of years in the summertime is because we run more of a college system. You know, it translates to the next level. But he's going to be a great player. He's got some things working. I've talked to plenty of coaches in the last couple of weeks, you know, about Alec. So he'll have a decision if he wants to go prep next year and continue to work on his game, or if he wants to take a shot and go to play in college.
Okay. Very well put. Now, we talked a lot about your 17s. Your 16s is pretty good, man. You got some horses on there. Your your 6th grade team. You know, oh my goodness, fun to watch. Talk to me about how do you do that, man? How do you turn that level, you know, being a high school coach, AAU, to going down to the young pups? Because you have been the guy that's been coaching that team. How do you do it, man? You know, talk to me about that.
So that particular group, I'm super excited about. You know, right now we take some L's that I feel like we shouldn't, but it's just part of the growing process. That one group with Beckham being AB's younger brother, I have Devin Moore, whose dad is the assistant coach at Duncanville. I have Hakeem Howard, his mom is the head women's coach at Duncanville. They seem to always just kind of be like the little brother hanger-ons to that 17 group. So they're always around. You know what I mean? Jacob Zenon's little brother's on that team. So he's always around. And they get the same Shawn that the 17s get. You know what I mean?
I've seen it.
Yeah, they get those.
I've been to some of them practices. I've seen it, man. I'm like, whoa, dude, you know, I just don't know how you balance that. I mean, I was like, you know, I used to coach, and there ain't no way in heck I'm going to do high school and then come down and do some young bucks. You know, I don't know how you do it.
You know, I have a certain level of pride that I need to match no matter what the team is. I have a certain level of expectations I got to get these guys to. And those expectations of them in the 6th grade is no different than when Nas, Terrence, AB, Zane, Jacob, Ryan were in the 6th grade. It's the exact same. And and they're just going to get better and better and better. But I'm so excited about that group. And it's not just because of Beckham. Like, everybody knows how good Beckham is. And if he continues to work and stay humble and put in the work, like, he's going to be great. But those other guys are going to be great too. You know what I mean? Like, I have a kid named Eli Chambers. I coached his older brother, Noah, who played at Louisville with Trent Sandiford, class of 2017. Like, I love that kid too, man. So I got a good group of 6-7 kids that I'm excited about. And really, they keep me hungry to stay in the gym with just everybody in my academy.
Okay. What you know, what can we expect out of you guys, man, this weekend at the War Before the Storm, man? Big weekend for you guys, man. Tell me who's on your schedule and talk to me about that.
I mean, out the gate, we play the Utah's prospects.
Tim Davis's group. That's my dude.
Respect the crap out of them. Last year at Who Wants to Smoke, and they jumped out on us early. I think they got like a 10-point lead. Not serious or not, I don't know. I got to go back to the film before this Friday. They play hard. They got some really good players. You know, we play on the NY to LA circuit. They remind me a lot of the teams that come from Wisconsin, Minnesota, those types execute that are just tough and like to grit out wins. reminds me of that. So I'm super excited to get them. They're going to come down and want to pop us. So I expect to take their best effort, you know. And then on the schedule, we're also slated to play Urban, which is great. Perk's awesome. Like, it was one of the best in this industry. You know, he always puts top-notch level competition on the court. Play hard, Southside dudes. You know what I mean? I got a bunch of Northside dudes, so it's always different. You know what I mean? So I love the way they play. They bring it every game. And then we play ASIC, which I'm really not too familiar. I think might be one of the first.
ASAC.
Yeah, out of Austin. So it might be one of the first times I've ever matched up with them was the 17s. I don't think I've ever played them.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
They're coming off a 3-0 weekend in spring icebreaker down in Houston this weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing them as well.
Yeah, I'm familiar with what they do. I think they had Brock Cunningham back in the day play for them. So I know they got some players. I think they had a pretty good point guard a couple years ago that played for them.
Jamal.
So I'm familiar with who they are. We just have never had the opportunity for whatever reason. I remember, that class of 2018. I remember I wanted Mason Hicks and Carson to go up against Brock so bad. You know, I reflect on that class.
I remember that.
I wish we had a chance to play them, but we just never crossed paths.
Speaking of which,
all right,
the history of 3D Hoops Academy. You've had some players that flew under the radar and had some pretty good careers, high school career and college career. Talk to me about the Baylor Hebs, the Carson Hughes at Dallas Baptist, Mason Hicks, understand he just went through a couple of things as well, but great opportunity, he had a great high school career, man, at Northwest, that magical run that they had. Talk to me about what it's been like to coach those kind of guys, you know what I'm saying? And how, is there any more coming up like that? Other than this group that we just talked about.
Yeah, so, those guys, it always gets tough, man, Paul. Like, every year these guys graduate. And the one thing that I do is I have kids that I've developed from the 5th, 6th, 7th grade. So every summer, Paul, it's really tough to see guys go. Like, it takes a toll on me. But when you talk about guys like Baylor and Logan and Austin Garner, who's at Dallas Baptist, plays with your son, Carson, Mason Hicks. I mean, Evan Anderson, who's at Arkansas Fort Smith, who's in the same conference.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about Evan. Golly.
Brandon Haddock, who
plays very well right now for Fort Smith. Yeah.
I had him since the 5th grade. Brandon Haddock, who is at Utah. I've had him since the 5th grade. Like, a lot of when you start to kind of take a step back and understand, like, the resume of kids that we're putting into college, you're like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Like,
it's
pretty legit. You know what I mean? Like, I got some dudes. But I always say this: my 17s, AB, and they wouldn't be that good if it wasn't for the Baylor Hebs and the Logan McLaughlins and the Austin Garners and the Jonathan Zapinskis. Like, those dudes paved the way. And what's so special about what we do is it's a huge family. Those guys are always interacting over the years, coming in and out of gyms. You've been in my practices. You see how it happens.
Yes.
Like, the young kids leave, the older kids come in. There's always like a brief interaction between them, so they always see each other. And so it's a very unique situation. They paved the way, and really they just become an inspiration for the young kids to be great, because they're like, and like they see the AB and Ryan's, like my 8th and my 16s, 15s, and 14s. They see those guys, my 8th grade group is one that really goes under the radar, Paul. Like, they're so good. I got Jet McCaslin. His dad is Grant McCaslin, head coach of North Texas. He's a firecracker, can shoot the piss out of it. Cash Gardner. Everybody's kind of starting to wake up to how good Cash is. Like, he's a dude, man. Like, he's baby Baylor all over again. And, I got some other really good players on that team. But, it starts with those older guys just kind of paving the way, man.
Number 11 on your 16s. I can't think of his name right now. I've been drawing a blank on your Garrett. Man, dude, I'm really starting to warm up to that kid. Like, really liking him. That dude hit some jumpers this weekend, some clutch buckets for you. I was like, whoa, hold on, this kid is really coming. Where's he at? Is that
yeah,
Birdville?
Birdville?
Yeah, Birdville.
You know, it's crazy because his coach, Anthony Holdman, is assistant coach. Great dude, salt of the earth type of guy, man. Knows basketball, played college basketball. It's like every day he's texting me, "How is Garrett getting better? What's Garrett doing?" So like Garrett's got a good camp. He's got a good support system. You know, he's still got to continue to work, get stronger. But I think the future is bright for basketball for him.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I'm really liking that number 55. God, I can't believe I'm drawing blanks on your kids.
Is it a 16?
The 55, number 55.
And
two.
Yeah, 6'8".
Those are the two.
Played at Eaton High School this past year. Had a great year. I mean, look, sky's the limit for that kid. Obviously, you know this, and I know this. You can't teach height. You know what I'm saying? And and, excuse me, the way he runs the floor is incredible for his size. I mean, he runs like he's 6'2". Like he gets out and runs, and he's got a great shot. So that's another kid that I'm extremely excited about. My 16s are really good. You know, they're really good.
Yeah,
they're really good.
And they're so polished. They run your stuff, man. I mean, they are so disciplined. I mean, I'm like, man, these dudes are gonna have a problem with this 3D hoops. But you know, your haters, your dudes that sort of running their mouth, and man, they don't even understand. The more this stuff grows for you, you know what I'm saying? You're only gonna get bigger when it concerns, you know, opportunity at a shoe contract or something. I think is right around the corner for you because you can't deny, you know, what you're putting in the school right now. And that's what the game is really evolving to right now. It's not just necessarily just the pros, how many pros you're putting into right now. You know, I guess that FBI sting kind of put a hint, you know, on that a little bit.
Well, but I can tell you this when you brought up the shoe contract. So like, you know, I was contacted by two shoe team or shoe whatever that wanted.
I know you turned one of them down.
Yeah, well, that wanted to play on their second tier thing, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm not doing that, man. I don't have a second tier program. I don't have second tier teams, and bottom line, that would just look funny if we go to play and all the coaches are all around our courts playing on your second tier program. Like, it makes no sense. You know what I mean? What I will also say about my 16s, real quick, going back to that, Paul, because you brought them up, like. Those dudes have hardly had any practice. I had two kids that played at Argyle, so they were in the state championship.
Yeah, they were state.
I had two kids that played at Lipan. They were in the state championship. So that's 40% of my team. Like, we've hardly had any practices with that group at all. So to see them, look, they went 0-3 this past weekend, but every single game was under 5 points that they played in. And we played some really good teams. We played Urban. We played the Tyrese Maxey's team, who has some really good players. So, you know, we played pro skills. So we played three pretty good teams, and we took 3 L's. But like we haven't even got together for a team practice. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
So like the sky's the limit for them too. I'm excited about their future.
All right, all right. This weekend you got the before the war before the storm. Excuse me. I don't know why I have a problem getting that out. What's after that? I know the storm. I know the one in May is Who Wants to Smoke. But what do you have in between?
So we're gonna do the war this weekend. They're gonna head down to and do the Gasso in Houston, which, by the way, I love playing in Houston. Got a lot of friends. My old agent from when I played is in Houston, so I got a lot of respect down there. I know a lot of my old players who played at Houston, like Galen Robinson, Willie Bird, and all those guys. Like
right.
In Houston, so Houston's always good for us, and it's a different brand. Like, I love it because we get beat up. You know how it is. You go down there, the refs are different. They call the game different. I love getting in the trenches, and I don't mind taking L's down there because it's just a different game. Like, it builds toughness. So I love it. So then, you know, we'll come back and do the Gasso here in mid-April, and then we're off to NYLA to Louisville to play in the hoop scene in NYLA thing at the end of April.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Bruh, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I you know, we covered a lot. 3D Hoops Academy is definitely, to me, one of the powerhouses in the state of Texas that people gonna have to come see. And definitely appreciative for you coming on tonight. You know, I know you had practice and everything. Definitely appreciate you. I'm not gonna hold you up. Any parting words or any parting shots that you want to take before I let you go?
No, I'm not gonna take any shots at anybody, man. I mean, I just look. I just let it speak for itself on the court. You can't deny it. And if teams don't want to play us, you know, if I was a college coach, I'll tell you this, Paul. If I was a college coach recruiting a kid and I found out a kid didn't want to play against other dudes, I'm probably going to take that offer away and rescind it. I mean, that's just being honest, man. Like, I'm not going to be a college coach recruiting dudes that don't want to compete. And, you know, that's just how it is. You know, I mean, that's just brutal honesty. Like, dude, if I'm a college coach, I want dudes who want to hoop. Don't matter when, where, how, get in the trenches, play hard. And if I find out I'm recruiting a kid and they're not wanting to play certain kids, I'm out on it, dude. I'm taking that shit away.
Yeah. Okay.
So
there he is, y'all. Shawn Ward, 3D Hoops Academy. I appreciate you, brother. I hope that you continue having a great day and stay safe, man. I'll see you this weekend.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. There he is, my dude, Shawn Ward, y'all. Man, one of the most realest coaches in the game right now, man, in this AAU game. I have a huge amount of respect for. Definitely teaches these kids something that a lot of coaches are just not providing these days. And you know, if I had a kid that was playing, like I said, if I could get it out there religiously, you know, man, I would have my kid playing out there. Definitely a great kid. So, I mean, great coach. All right, hang on a second. Let me just pull this up right fast. Hang on a second. My next guest, y'all. Looking kind of dark over there, bro. You good?
Yeah. I need more light.
This next guy, young man, is someone dear, something close to me right now, man. One of the kids that never really got a whole lot of media love, a whole lot of ink or anything coming up, but this dude just always played hard, man. You know, both ends of the court, you know, but was super smart, super intelligent on and off the court. You knew this kid was headed to big things in life, and I know there's so much more to come for you. You know, all the accolades you won from South Oak Cliff Academy. You know, you played up under the legendary James Mays at South Oak Cliff. Then you went to Texas A&M, got an academic scholarship, walked on. You know, played at A&M. Man, I even seen you in a couple of games, and I'm like, yeah, Frank.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Talk to me, man, about your journey, man. Started at South Oak Cliff. Hooper, you played with some guys, man, in your past.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how you have used basketball as the vehicle to take you to where you are right now. I mean, talk about your resume right now as far as your academics and your degrees and so forth.
Right.
Let them know, man. Hit them. Stick your chest out with it, man.
All right, yeah, but
stick your chest out with it. We'll do it.
I got you, definitely. So first, I wouldn't even start at high school, to be honest. I started when I was probably, let's just say like pre-K, maybe kindergarten. I was very, I guess, obedient and just observant. So one thing I just did was just respect my parents. And my mom I really believe this. This was pretty crazy because it stuck with me and she didn't have to tell me too many times. But she was just like, if you didn't get, your grades, then basically, there was no practice, no things like that. So from early on, I just really set that academic standard. My whole, I would say K through 12 career, I probably got 2 Bs. And so just setting that standard academically was definitely just major. So I guess fast forward, I'm just going to talk about just times where I just transitioned. So in 6th grade, I went to middle school. I would say I'm from Oak Cliff, so I went to school at Holmes. At Holmes, played on the 6th grade team, was very good. But the biggest thing with me was I didn't want to become a product of my environment. So going to Holmes was very challenging because that was one of the times where, I could have chose a different route. I could have, got into the vices, the man, anything. It was just nothing but opportunities to get into like things that wasn't on that path that I wanted to go to. So being a standout student, and I got straight A's. That's when we still had Texas had the tax test. I got hundreds on everything, and from there, my mom was basically like, something needs to challenge me, and definitely a big step, I guess, in my progression as professionally and academically. I transitioned to an academy in North Dallas called Dealey. It was an international academy where I got to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people that wasn't in the hood, smarter people, people that challenged me, things like that. So in the 2 years, 7th and 8th grade year, I guess that kind of like altered more of my, I would say, basketball foundation, because I went to a academy. So it was more going to school. I played AAUs, but at that time, I was playing with some just teams that I grew up with, 12 and under, 14 under type of teams, not necessarily people in my grade, things like that. So my 8th grade year, I was able to find out that I was able to go to academy and play at a school. So I got recruited to play at Lane. This is when I really stopped playing football and just took basketball seriously. One thing about me is if I put my mind to it, I'm just going to dedicate everything. So 8th grade year, I dedicate my, that was my sport, basketball. So that's what I wanted to do. Worked really hard at it. Took Lane to the city tournament. We lost to Holmes, very ironically. And that's when Coach James Mays reached out to me. At the time, I was actually going to go to Townview, which is #1 school, top school in the country. But Coach Mays came, offered me the opportunity to play basketball and also be able to, at the time, so soccer is definitely at a better position than it was when I was in. So now they have the collegiate academy, but at the time we had a different set of academy. But he definitely did a good job of, like, selling it to my mom to allow me to go to a school like soccer. So funny thing about a school like SOC, my biggest thing is my overall goal was I'm trying to get out the hood. I want to set this precedence for my family. I'm going to be the first first to leave out, the first one to get us out, things like that. So that was my mindset. So I didn't really want to go to SOC. I was really low key kind of, I would say, scared because my family history. My school we didn't have a good history there. I guess it is what it is. Just based on who my family is. So me wanting to, start new fresh ground and really build a foundation, it started early. So it only took one conversation about SOC really to understand that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to be a leader in my community. I didn't want to keep going to schools in North Dallas because I have little brothers. I have teammates that, I have homeboys that really need access to me so I can help continue to lead them and show them that there's opportunities everywhere. Don't just limit yourself to just basketball or just a sport you're playing. So, So Coach Mays, really fun fact, I was playing with Urban DFW. Perkins, a phenomenal big brother and just mentor at the time. And I'm still close friends with Desmond Kennedy. He ended up transferring to Carter, but at the time we played on the same age team. We have it's Desmond Kennedy, CJ Massenberg, Lando King, Prentice McKinney.
Prentice P. Master P.
Yeah, so these are all academic studs that ended up being academic studs at my school. But before I entered school, I told Coach Mays I wanted to graduate valedictorian. And man, at SOC, I just killed it academically. I remember our first 2-3 report cards. Me and Dez, we had 105s, 106s.
Yeah, Dez is smart.
Yeah, so we was definitely like really competing. And then through the progression of school, I just found opportunities to just lead, not only just on the court. I was captain, I played varsity, things like that. I was grinding. My biggest thing is I wanted to, my overall goal was to go to college for free. So
No doubt.
But I didn't want to limit myself to just, hey man, I'm 5'9", 5'10". You know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna pass the eye test to go to the schools that I wanted to. I kind of understood that, but I was still grinding for it. So if I still got it, I would have been grateful for it. But my academic, so my sophomore year, this is when I really woke up to what can I do with my platform. So my sophomore year, I received an internship at a bank, but I didn't have my driver's license or something like that, so I wasn't able to do that. But that planted a seed in my mind that, oh, it's opportunities that I could really go after. And I was 16 at the time. So the next year, junior year, we had a phenomenal. I had a phenomenal AAU season. Had a great season with SOC. We ended with the tragic loss where Lancaster came back on the 18. Kind of the same thing that happened to them this year. But this summer, after that, this opportunity really changed my life, I would say. So I was in this program, the Mayor's Intern Fellowship Program. There's an opportunity at my school. And one thing I did was I went to the college office. I beat people to it. So I didn't want a college coach to come talk to me about a school. I didn't know what was going on. So I went to the college office to get educated on what I need to do for college, what I need to get into college, what are opportunities, things like that. So going to that office, just looking and learning and seeking knowledge, I found an opportunity, the Mayor's Internship Fellow Program. So I found that program and I received 3 different offers. So I received one from the Omni Hotel, one from the City of Dallas, and one from JP Morgan Chase. So this is where I really take home into where I challenge people's thought process and decision making, because there were a lot of people that had some similar opportunities as me, as choosing a JP Morgan Chase, but to be cool or to get quick money or the easy job, they took the City of Dallas basic internship or just interning at the Omni Hotel. I didn't want to get into those business, but I knew that, JP Morgan Chase, this is a great opportunity. I can leverage this. I can really do a lot with this opportunity. I can really maximize it. So, so I interned JP Morgan Chase in the summer, but I'm playing with Showtime. So Under Armour team, we playing on the circuit. So I have to play at a high level, but I also am going to work. I caught the train and the bus every day. So I'm waking up at 5 a.m., working 8 to 5. Sometimes really asking them, can I get to work at 7? Can I get off at 4:30 so I can get to practice, so I can rest before practice? So this was an everyday grind for me. So but so one time we played on Friday. It was during the live period, and our game was at 6 o'clock. I got off at work at 5, so it was just hard for me to get to the game. So I ended up getting to the game at 5:50, just in a suit, coming from work, and I got to get my jerseys changed and things like that. So
I think I remember seeing you that day on that.
Yeah. So with that, I played really good that tournament, and with that tournament, they was able to, learn more about what I've been doing. I guess I was always kind of like an underdog. I see myself because, regardless, I feel like people always treated me like, I was going to be good regardless, because I was always smart. I was valedictorian and things like that. So it was able to, but I'm getting more respect, someone seeing my game on top of like understanding everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, because the JP Morgan was just something that was something that I reap what I sowed. So I got that for putting in the work, taking care of my grades, going to those offices and things like that. So I was just trying to show a different way of really, it's opportunity for us out here. Don't necessarily just let someone just wait and someone, here's the scholarship. You know what I'm saying? Because if I would have did that, then I would have limited my options. So after that, really start gaining some traction. My recruiting was pretty good. I had D2 offers, some D1s who were starting to recruit me. My biggest thing was, again, I kind of always took pride in being a student athlete, like literally that. I think some people are athletes. I think a lot of people identify themselves as just athletes, you know what I'm saying? But I really took pride in that. And so the D2s started to recruit me. And I was in a weird position because, yes, I've been grinding and I want to go play basketball for my ego, but what kind of decision do I want to make and what kind of precedents do I want to set for my family? I'm the first one to go to school. Man, I want to set this. I want to go to the school that I want to go to because I worked this hard for that. So I had to turn down the D2s, and I had to have an honest conversation with a lot of the coaches that was recruiting me. I was like, "Hey, sir, I'm sorry. I definitely love, the school. Thank you for the opportunity, but I think it's a better opportunity for me that I have with this academic thing, right?" So, So, senior year kept playing. We played. We played really good. The only team we couldn't beat was Lancaster. So we lost to Lancaster 2 years in a row. From there, I remember I shot the last shot, made the three, and I thought that was the last shot I was going to take in the game. I thought that was honestly the last game I was going to play. And again,
what made you walk on at A&M?
Wait, this is the thing right here, right? So at this moment, this was definitely me. Again, I always the reason why I pay dues to the game because it taught me discipline in the classroom and discipline in my grind and things like that. So I always loved basketball, and I did these things so I can always stay on the court. But then through my mom painting that picture of academics, my parents, things like that, I seen the opportunity, and they didn't have to tell me anything else after that. So after my senior year, I played with Texas Longhorns, Dallas Longhorns Elite. I think you remember it. These are
the Hispanic guy used to coach that team.
Yeah. So man, I was just planning to have. I remember you talking to me. I was like, man, I was choosing between USC, UT, and A&M. I was like, man, I got to build. At the time, I had recently got the Bill. I'm a Gates Millennium Scholar, so Bill Gates funds my school to my PhD. So for the next 5 years, I'll still be in school, fully funded. And so I received that, and that's what shut the notice on all the schools that were recruiting me. And then I just played with the Longhorns Elite. I always worked on all parts of my game. I just never scored. I was always a true point guard, play defense. That was just more who I was. Just do whatever to help my team win. With the Longhorns, they didn't have any scores and things like that, so I was able to do a lot more, I guess. And I was just hooping, I guess, and I was just hooping, going crazy. We traveled a little bit, and I was just having fun. Through having fun.
Let me ask you something, Frank. Let me ask you something. You're the toughest guy that you ever had to play against, AAU-wise, select level. Toughest point guard you ever played against.
I'm gonna say, I have to say Alonzo Trier. Man, he was next level.
He was a grown man at an early age.
Played him over the years, so definitely seen his progression. I would say, that was played him a lot. So I would say him.
Was there any one kid that you might say that you might have feared a little bit? Dang, I'm gonna guard him, but I don't know if I really want none. You always in people's I just wanted to know that.
Yeah, I'm a defensive guy always, so I didn't know. Not on that. Nope.
Any player that you regret that you didn't get to play with?
You
played with some good players.
Always. So I grew up playing with Eli. So me and Eli playing on the same.
Eli Thomas.
Elijah. We played in college together. So I definitely wish I would have played with him when we got a little bit older. I think that would have been pretty fun. Mun. I would have loved to play with Mun.
Edmond Gilder.
Just me being, I guess, the PG. I like passing, but I like shooters. So Mun got pocket rocket. So I got to see that in college too. I think those two, because I really grew up with them and I was able to see them. Like, we actually grow up and see them. So I'll say those two. I play with
another question.
Other guys. So.
Yeah. Another question coming up. You know, there's guys getting more love at your position. Any thoughts about how that dude should have got more than me? Did you have any kind of thoughts like that back in them days, man?
Yeah, definitely.
Why that dude getting ranked?
Yeah, I definitely.
You want to shout out? You want to tell me who those guys were? I mean, it's open now. Give me some of them guys.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was just certain guys. You would say I just wanted my respect. One thing that I really wanted was just I always ask people, man, just give me a clean opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Don't just look at me don't push me as, oh, I'm the academic stud or I'm this guy that's this and that. Talk to me as Frank as a basketball player. And I think that was one thing that I probably feel like I just didn't get at all times. But no, I don't think it was no certain guys, man. I think if you ask, anybody I play with, it's all respect, and we went at it. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's
all right. So
still, talk about to this day.
All right. So my next guest is getting ready to come on in a little bit. All right. So I want you to be quick on this. Mm-hmm. Man, talk to me about all them daggum all these degrees and accolades that you got right now for the A&M, because I want my next guest to be able to hear, what kind of dude you are, how you come up and because this next dude that I'm going to bring on is you're ready to do some big things, man. I think that you could flourish under, and if you had the opportunity on. But talk to me, give me that sales pitch on that, brother.
Yeah. So again, Frank Bias Jr. Currently, right now, I'm a second semester graduate student at Texas A&M University studying higher education administration. I'm studying a concept called Bigger Than Ball that I'm really trying to build out just to maximize the student athlete experience and teach athletes more about their identity. I graduated valedictorian at SELCT, came in undergrad, preferred walk-on at A&M. Prefer walk-on in economics undergrad. My two programs that I was in is the business economics program, and then I was in the Texas A&M Financial Planning Student Association, where I completed the CFP program, and I have a number of internships going back to high school: J.P. Morgan Chase, Amegy Bank, Republic Capital Group, SHAWN and Norman Law Firm, and Fort Cliff. And overall, I'm just someone that's looking for, I guess, entry. I'm just a person that really supports and loves sports, and really just love developing leaders and working with like-minded people.
What's your end goal on this? As far as what do you really want to be when you grow up? We get that. We get to ask you that question when you're a little kid. Now I want to ask you that as a grown man. Now, when you grow up, what do you want to be?
So long-term career goal. I'm looking to get into possibly becoming a sports agent, and I'm really working on this concept. So I'm afforded to be funded by Bill Gates to pursue my studies. So what I'm doing is working on this concept called Bigger Than Ball, that I want people to really start doing more research on why athletes are getting to these schools and we have access to economic capital, but why aren't we using that? So why aren't we maximizing our opportunities? So what I want to do is work on I really want to be a conduit to to student athletes, connecting them to alumni, connecting them to corporate sponsors, things like that. So I really want to really bridge that gap, because where we come from, we actually get indoors where we have access to these people, but we don't know what to do with them because no one has actually properly educated us and prepared us on it. So overall, that's overall what I want to do, is just continue to be a leader and just be a faithful servant.
All right, Frank, I like that, brother. It was good having you on. I'm glad you stopped by. Maybe we'll get to you another time. You know what I'm saying? And chop it up a little bit. I'll definitely be calling you, brother. I got to get to my next guest. He's in Mexico right now, man. Partying on us right now. You know what I'm saying? So let me get him in, man. All right? Yes, Frank, appreciate you, brother. I'll be hollering at you. Take care. All right. My next dude. Hey, man.
Throwback Wednesday. Hey, this ain't Throwback Tuesday or Throwback Thursday. This is Wednesday night. We rock Wednesday night, my man. Paul Washington Sr.
What's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Not much, man.
I've been waiting on you on this one, bro. I've been waiting on you on this. How you been?
Good, man. Blessed. Cannot complain, man. Excited.
I'm going back, reliving 10, 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man. Man, back then, what you were trying to accomplish for your kids, man, you had little Shelton as well.
Yeah.
Frisco Celtics.
Shout out to the Frisco Celtics, baby.
Frisco Celtics.
All the way.
Yes.
All the way.
Yes. Talk to me about your vision, man, and how you have just really executed that from start to today.
Paul, I would tell you, man, God works in mysterious ways. And, you and I had conversations, like you said, 10, 15 years ago, man. I still remember when you were the first one to interview PJ, when he was coming back in, 4th, 5th grade. And, we got him on the radio, did the stuff. And we've always had a good conversation and dialogue about, the journey and the path and what I saw for my kid, not only my kid, but for our team, our program. And then things, kind of didn't happen the way I thought it should happen. But one of the things that my wife and I figured out, man, that God don't make any mistakes. It's
no doubt.
And if we think it should be one way and then ultimately it ends up being another way, it is what it is. You just gotta.
No doubt. No doubt.
So, being a good steward of the game, and I just want to teach my kid the right way. And teach our program and kids to play the right way. And that's really what I was preaching back then. Try to get everybody to do it the right way. It wasn't even about wins and losses. It was about playing the kids and maximizing what you have and doing it the right way. And ultimately, we sitting here and like you said in Mexico, and we're sitting at the sports bar watching PJ, and he ends up with a double-double, 12 and 12. Leading the team in assists, 4 assists. So he's playing the right way, and that just goes back to everything that we told him back then. I could care less who shoots the ball and stuff like that. So it was always about just playing the right way. So I'm so proud to see him doing it the right way at the utmost. So that's
at the highest level. Always had been on the highest level. Finley Prep, Kentucky, now Charlotte. And it just he never seems to dip, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Still climbing. What's in the sauce, man? What are you guys cooking? What are you guys? What's the first lady over there making, man?
You know what? I think it's one of those things, Paul. When you look back at it, and I didn't really get into it to coach. I really didn't. It was one of those things where my son, I just felt like he would come back and he would say he'd get a rebound and he'd be in a game like an AAU game, and I'll say, well, why you didn't dribble? And he'll say, well, the coach told me don't dribble. Like, get the ball to little Johnny. And I'm like, the coach? Man, this dude is a mechanic over at, You listen to this guy over me? Like, I played college ball. Me and my wife played D1. So, but understanding kids at that age, they put the coach's advice over dad's, and anybody else. So instead of getting mad at this man for volunteering his time and doing what he's doing for these kids in the community, you got to walk them out in their shoe. And that's what I did. I said, let me put my thought. And I played with a ton of selfish people, guards back in the day. I was a power forward, like a stretch. Really could never really get a chance to shoot it because the coach wanted you to, just bang and rebound and all that stuff. So I wanted to teach.
Guards game.
Yeah. So I'm proud. I got into it, and it all just started from that. We had one of the hottest teams in 4th, 5th grade in the country. And all those boys, I'm proud of them, man. And even when that team came back in 5th grade. And they ended up going their separate ways. I was thinking it was the worst thing. I was talking to you on the phone. I remember teaching my classroom at Stafford Middle School, and me and you on the phone talking about what happened, what's going on, and you trying to mediate. All that stuff.
That was some crazy times.
Crazy times, man. Crazy.
Let's start right there, right quick.
Yeah.
You and Chris Giles.
Oh, yeah. We go way back.
Assistant coach, head coach.
Yeah.
That breakup right there, man, really, really shocked a lot of people. What was that like going through, man? Because I talked with you, and I know you didn't want that to happen.
No.
Talk to me about how you guys felt, how this was, because a lot of people don't know. They just look at you, Paul, and say,
all that arrogance. You know what I'm saying? You know, he don't care about that. He just trying to do what only benefiting his kid or whatever. Talk to me about how you had to go through all that. You heard all that. How did you guys get through all that?
You know, I would tell you, looking back at it, Chris is was a good friend of mine, still a good friend of mine. He texted me the other day, actually sent me a picture with PJ playing against LeBron. You go through life, you figure out that little moment is just a little bump in the road. It's not the But during that time, as you know,
seemed like forever.
Man, it was nothing more important than that particular moment, And for me, I didn't want my team to break up. I cared about the team. And I can't get upset with parents wanting to do their own thing, and they have different directions for their kids. Their direction might not be my direction, which it wasn't, and money isn't everything. I mean, we had a fully sponsored Charles Glendenny program. We had a bus. I mean, the kids didn't pay for nothing, had shoes, uniform. None of that matters at the end of the day. If a parent feels that they're doing what's best for their kid, they have the right to do what's best for their kid. And that ultimately what kind of led to us breaking up. But it really, looking back at it, was the best thing for my own individual son.
Sometimes we don't realize that.
My son would have been in the post. You see, because that's what he needed to be on that team. But once they all, he had to play guard, he had to shoot it, he had to pass it, he had to dribble, kick off speed. That's when his whole skill set in his game really matured and actually played. Looking back at it, but it was tough. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday, man. My son. And I just told him, I said, Coach Giles just really wanted to coach his son. He just wanted to be a coach. So we go to the IAD call, and a week or two later, once we all broke up, and these kids, and the kids still love each other. It wasn't the kids. It's never the kids. It's the parents and their decisions. And like I said, you can't be mad at it because that's what they choose to do. But he goes to, and I'm telling him, trying to be the big guy. I'm saying, hey, his dad just wanted to coach. That's all it was, PJ. But he ended up taking 3 or 4 kids with him, at the end of the day. So we go to the gym that weekend, and PJ sits there and sees all his ex-teammates, literally that just came back from him, playing on another team. And he didn't understand that. And he looked back at me and he was like, Dad, I thought you said coach wanted to coach. He's not even coaching. And then he was sitting on the wall, man, and he just put his back on the wall, Paul, and he just fell to the ground. And I put my back on that wall, and I fell to the ground with him. And I put my arm on him. Look, people have the right to do what they feel is best for them and their kids. So I'm not mad at Coach Giles. I'm not mad at them. But that just means we got to work harder. And from that day, he really dedicated himself to working harder. But that was the first grown-up lesson that my son had to learn in 5th grade.
At early age.
That it ain't even about just basketball and having fun. It's a business to this thing.
No doubt.
But it was a good one that he had to learn.
The next strategic move. Finley Prep.
Yeah.
How does an AAU coach end up being the Finley Prep, basketball coach, coaching some great players, man? Talk to me about how that happened, and talk to me about, what made you stop? You know what I'm saying? What was it that made you really want to, move on to something different? I know you following your kid was a priority, but give it to them because people don't know the story. I know the story already because you and I talked, but people don't know this story, man. I'm giving you an opportunity to give your side of everything on it. Because, these people, the armchair quarterbacks out there, they know everything and they got their own version of why Paul did this and so forth. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
We created a program. We had 7 to 10 teams out in Frisco, man. And, we was playing, and I had older teams, younger teams, doing a good job. And then PJ ended up playing for Deion Sanders Prime Prep his 9th grade year. And then after that was done, let me go back. I always think kids should be able to play up. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter you're trying to score 45 points or not. You should play to your level of your competition. And then I felt like he needed to play up as well as play down on his own grade too, so he can keep his confidence going. Because sometimes when you go up, you don't play the same role, and you look at you and say, "No, I can't do it." So he learned a lot of that. He was playing 2 grades up, and that was great. But anyway, he played 9th grade for Prime. When he came back to Frisco, his 10th grade year, he tried to enroll back in Frisco, and then Frisco ISD, one of the schools there, protested it, and they wanted him to go to one of the other schools that we lived in, not where I taught at, where he was already doing stuff. So we appealed it all the way to Austin, and they ruled on it, 4-3 against us. And then they wanted PJ to play JV. He was one of the top players in the state as a sophomore, and you wanted to play.
No,
I'm not going to let this school district dictate my kid's success. So I pushed him out and made him go to Finley Prep. So he goes out there, Paul, and about 3 months later, he calls me and says, Dad, it ain't the same. You know, these guys they're not like you. They ain't saying what the kids running the team, the coach ain't got no balls, this and that. I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna come out there and take a look. Man, I go out there to Phoenix, man, and my son played 2 games. He scored 3 points in 2 games, and he fouled out 1 game. And he started both games. I'd never seen him play. I'm like, what do you mean? The coach said he can't defend in space. I said, defend in space? What are you talking about? So the more I got to looking at it, I said, you know what, PJ, we're not quitting. I'm gonna move out to Vegas, and then I'm gonna make sure I'm out there with you, like basically like Suge Knight, and I'm gonna make sure this thing go right. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Tank, and Tank was at every practice with his son.
Yes, sir.
I'm
yes, sir.
With my
Derek
kid.
Thornton.
Yep, Derek Thornton, which was one of the top point guards at the time. So then I went back to my school, and I told him, I said, man, I like y'all, because I was a school teacher and I was coaching. And I said, but I love my own kid, you know, so I got to quit, gave him a 2 weeks notice, moved out to Vegas, got a job back in the car business and started doing that. Yeah. So I did that for his sophomore year and his junior year. I got to traveling with the team as a parent, going to different games. And then come his senior year, the coach there, Andy Johnson, got promoted to assistant job in college, which that's usually the progression at a prep school. Right. So they asked me, they wanted to promote like one of the assistant coaches. He was a weight strength training guy, and said he's going to coach PJ, you know, and my other son Spencer was there. I said, no, he won't coach my 2 kids. I don't watch this BS for 2 years. You think I'm gonna let my son year go through this? I said, no. Nah, I called Steve Smith. He said, we got 2 scholarships ready to go, and I said, well, let's go. So then they came to me and said, what do you think? What would make you stay? I said, well, shit, the hell, I'll do it for that. I mean, I can coach. I know my kid, and I know the players. I bring myself to kids.
Did you think that it could happen? At that point, did you really think they would give that to you, though, when you said it? Or
when you have that kind of leverage, because I was ready to go. I just knew I couldn't watch that bad basketball no more, Paul. It came to the point. I'm like, dude, I can't. We would go to a national tournament, had the best players in the whole tournament, and lose the first round. Right. It was just coaching. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? The dude he just couldn't coach. So I couldn't put my son through that his senior year. I was like, nah, we good. At least I know if he go to Oak Hill, he'll be all right. So then when they said, okay, then we'll let you do it. I said, oh, really? Bet. I got on the phone, called some of my boys up from Texas.
We started getting on the horn, trying to get you some players.
And you know, when you look back at it, I had a lot of connections in the AAU by coaching AAU all those different years across the country. So I had kids, you know, in Indiana, New York, wherever. So they start coming. And people don't realize kids go to programs for coaches, you know, programs like that. And they try to get you to the next level. So relationships. And I really didn't burn any bridges going up those different levels. So I was able to get those relationships. So long story short, man, that was the best coaching of my life for me to be able to coach both my sons, you know, their junior, senior year in high school, and McDonald's All-American, coaching the Jordan game, and, you know, got him on to Kentucky. So that was pretty amazing to be able to do that, man. And we finished
what was that
2 years in a row. So I was proud.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah. Going into Kentucky, what was that like? You know, that whole experience. You know, Calipari.
It was one of the things that was one of PJ's goals from day one, to play at Kentucky. I wanted to go around and look at different schools and just make sure that he's making the right decision. You know? But man, how can you go wrong? You know, I tell people like this: if you want to win the lottery, and I told you at this particular gas station they had, you know, 52 lottery winners in the last 10 years. Where do you think you're gonna buy your lottery ticket? You see,
I'm going there.
I'm going there, and that's what I did. And so what I did his senior year, he had committed. We knew he was going like his junior year, so I had Cal send me all his plays for the next year. I went down there in the summertime, studied his practice, and I ran my show like a Kentucky. So I had all the plays. I had PJ running every position. He was a 3. He ran the point, and he knew all the plays, all the terminology. So when he got on campus, I knew he was going with 7 All-Americans. He was going to have that one little advantage above everybody. You know, and he knew.
I remember you telling me that. I remember that.
And it really worked out for him. So, it was good. You know, but Kentucky there again, it was one of those situations when you go there, and Cal rolls the ball out. He don't care whether you're All-American or not All-American. He gonna roll. He's like a white Don King. He gonna lead with that. With the win.
No doubt. No doubt.
DJ out there playing team ball and passing and, you know, this and that and not really, you know, doing what he can do and kind of inconsistent and thought he was going to come out. And I was like, oh, man, you ain't ready. We didn't go this far for you to just get here and be a second round pick. No, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You, man. You're a hard worker, so work hard. You know?
All right. Keep going.
Video game down. I'm going to move out to Kentucky again. You know, I'm going to move out there, get in your ass, be at practice. I'm going to be at every home game.
All right.
And you play better with your dad and your coach right there. And that's what we did.
No doubt. No doubt.
Started getting in that gym. Paul, it's no easy way to this. You know what I'm saying? You got to work hard. And he worked his ass off that sophomore year, which, I mean, he could have came out his first year. But it's a big difference between second round and first round.
No doubt. Agree.
Life to get to this point. Why, you know, blow it. And we didn't need no money. I mean, I worked every day, so I'm good.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. The draft comes. What was that whole experience like? You know, the waiting. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, you know, they said we're gonna go here. But you know, why we ain't gone yet? I mean, talk to me about that whole process for you.
It was kind of unique in his situation because he had hurt his foot against Tennessee in the SEC second round game.
Right.
You know, conference championship. He had been playing real good down the stretch. So he ended up sitting out 2 games in the first round of the tournament. He came back against Houston. Houston was kind of on the roll, similar to the team they got this year. You know, a lot of guards, shooting the ball pretty good. And he did as well. You know, so he blocked the shot, made it, you know, had a double-double or something like that against Houston, came back. So anyway, he played those 2 games, man, and I think they went to the Sweet 16. I think they went to the Elite 8. But if they'd have won one more game, they was in Elite 8. They'd have went to the Final Four. I feel if he'd have beat Auburn and he'd have made it to the Final Four, I feel like PJ would have been a top 5 pick, you know, in that particular draft. So, but he didn't, and his foot was kind of messed up. I didn't want him to work out because back then you only had a month or 2 before the draft, and I felt like you did 2 years at Kentucky. If these teams don't have enough film on you right now, then they don't draft him. You don't know him. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going out there. We're not going to injure him more. We're going to make sure you get right in the summer so you can play in the summer league and be ready for the next team. So that kind of pushed him back a little bit in the draft process as well. Not working out. So yeah, he ended up going 12th, man, but it was a blessing. We never even worked out for Charlotte, believe it or not. You know, we kind of refused to work out, and you know, they still drafted him, which is, you know, amazing. They drafted Malik Monk a couple years before that. Never worked out. Miles never worked out for him. So somehow they, you know, Jordan does a good thing of looking at film and figuring out who he wants to draft. So, but anyway, couldn't have picked a better situation for him to come in and play. You know, he had a couple of people in front of him in the training camp, and he went to training camp, and I said, PJ, how you feel? He's like, Dad. He said, you know, it's gonna be easy. I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, you'll be amazed that, you know, some of these guys can't catch, or some of them can't defend, or some of them can't shoot. He said, I can do all that, you know. And he had a great vet, Marvin Williams, out of North Carolina. Marvin was a great vet for him. And Marvin said, man, he looked at the same like a 6-year-old vet, you know, 6-year vet when he was in training camp. And really, and to his credit, when he came in, they thought he was going to be in the G League right away. You know, they thought he was going to work his way up.
I remember that talk.
And he come right out, hit 7 threes the first game, man, and hadn't looked back ever since. You know, but I think it's a credit to him playing up all these years. I mean, you got to think about it. He played against Ben Simmons, you know, in the EYBL. You know, he played against Ivan Rabb and Zimmerman and all of them. Young buck, you know, 9th grade, playing against senior. So he don't look at anybody like, you know, I can't play at this level. But that's for me playing him up all those years and not necessarily trying to say my son need to average 30. You know, he just need to be a part of a team and understand how to play the right way. And it'll show. And I'm glad we did that, because that's ultimately how he's staying on the court now, because he's so versatile and he's able to play with other high-level caliber kids instead of just trying to be the one averaging 30 points, you know, how all these young guys want to do. They think scoring is everything.
Okay.
But yeah, when they call his name, Paul, man, when they say PJ Washington, 12th pick, going to Charlotte Hornets, man, he looked up and saw his name. I feel like they said everybody, all of us, the whole family, you know, 12th pick, you know, we all going. So it was a blessing. Plus, he's obviously got my name. He's a junior. He got my college number 25, man. So I'm very proud of what he's accomplished so
heck of a career so far, with Charlotte right now. Playing, they're playing pretty well. Got Melo Ball out there, man. I'm planning on having PJ on the show one day. During the off season, I guess, right? But so I'm not going to ask that question about what it's like for that relationship. What's your relationship with LeVar Ball as a dad right now? Do you guys get to meet? Get to any?
You know what? I actually
go ahead.
I actually met him PJ's senior year. We went out to Cali and played in a tournament every summer out there. And we played the Ball brothers. We played Chino. That's when Chino had won 30, 40-some games in a row and all that stuff.
Right,
and man,
right. I remember that.
I game planned for him, and we ended up beating him. We didn't lose. We was winning bell to bell. So we played against Ball. Actually, the oldest one wasn't. He had already went on to UCLA. So it was the two younger ones. Yep. So we ended up, and it was a kid that just got, 6th pick or something like that to Atlanta. He played on that team too. The big center dude. Yeah, the African kid. So but so I played him that game, and I'm out there. He's screaming in the stands. And I look, it's my court. You know what I'm saying? I'm in LA in their house. I said, this is my house.
Yeah, this is my house.
So we beat him. After the game, he came down. He a big guy. I'm a big guy. We talked, we laughed, we had fun about it, exchanged numbers. So we texted a few times over the years. But no, he's nothing like what you see on TV, the old loud and all that. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're kind of quiet dude, and I know that dude is out there. So I just wonder if you guys had any kind of interaction like that.
People can say what they want to say, but I wish both my sons were number 2 and number 3 overall. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So whatever all that did, it all worked out in his favor. He's the one laughing.
No doubt. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. All right, so new endeavors, man. Talk to me, man. What Paul Washington and Senior and the family are up to. I know you kind of put some things out there to me the other day.
Yeah.
Let me in on it, man. Let my people in on it.
I just think, Paul, one of the things that kind of kept us going is always learning, and never stop learning with this basketball game. And one of the things that I've learned with PJ going through this process with Kentucky, with him going through as a rookie, and now as his sophomore year, that being his father, I manage him already. I deal with a lot of the agents. I deal with a lot of the sponsorships and endorsements and stuff like that. And I just feel like with me, knowing my own kid, knowing the situation, knowing what these players want, I feel like the next step for me is to retire from coaching in a sense and go ahead into representing, the players, because I kind of got the ear to understanding what these guys want, and how they want to be, talked to and dealt with and treated like men in a sense and coddled, all that little stuff. So the next step for us as a family was to open up our own sports group, Washington Sports Group. And I recently just passed the NBA exam to be a certified NBA.
Congrats,
so I'm an agent now representing the NBA. So so that's my next endeavor is to do that, is to start representing players, and and they'll come. Just like with anything, man. I don't be chasing nobody like that. I want the ones that I want. The people that I want to deal with, Paul. The people that I want to pick the phone up and talk to. If I beg you and chase you and all like that, then it ain't the. My sons provide for me enough to where I don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna.
Right. That's awesome.
Do it. So it's a blessing to be able to do that. Yeah. So that's next.
Speaking of which, man, I didn't go through the family tree a little bit, man.
Yeah.
What's my boy Shelton up to, man?
Spencer
what's going on with Spencer? Not Shelton, Spencer.
Doing good.
What's Spencer up to?
He played 1 year of school. He was diagnosed with Crohn's, probably 9th, 10th grade.
Yeah, I thought you.
He lost some weight, and he just said, "Dad, the basketball is just getting too tough for me." So now he played 1 year, and then now he's just a college student. So he's taking classes now.
Okay, good for him.
Yeah, engaged. Got a beautiful fiance.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
I saw the pictures.
6-footer too, 6-footer. So
gonna
get some big kids.
Ain't no small kids gonna be in that family.
No, sir. No, you get him a 7-footer one day.
Damn, I should have found that recipe. That's what it was.
Yeah. So
the daughter, I can't never remember your daughter. Oh my God. She looks just like the wifey.
Yeah, Alex, she's doing good. We just talked to her today. She's playing. We're leaving straight from here Friday to go to. She's in Southern Illinois University in Carbondale.
Okay.
She had her last home game.
Volleyball. Yep. Remember that.
Yeah. So she's a big time player down there, man. Leading the team in kills and digs, and she plays all the way around, athletic. So she's having fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
She's having fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
wifey's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Belated birthday. You guys in Mexico?
Yeah.
You know, she's my girl.
Yeah.
You know,
had to take her out a little bit.
Glad you're doing that right.
Oh man, had to show her some things out here. You know, we got a little spot down here. So we like to,
Porta Vallarta.
There you go. Yeah, I'll let you say
awesome.
it. I still can't say it.
I'll
be butchering it.
You see, I struggled with it. But yeah, awesome stuff, man. Man, you and your wife been together a long time, and man, talk to me about, you know, how hard or how easy was this as parents, right, to go through all that you guys went through now, and you sitting back there in Mexico having you a couple little drinks on it. You guys sit down and talk about all that stuff, man. Give me what goes through your mind when you just think about all the naysayers, everything you had to go through.
Yeah.
To, you know, you and her, you know, I know there had been some arguments here and there, you know, because I know you made some strategic moves that wasn't popular. No. I know it wasn't popular in your own house.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely want her son to go to Finley. No, that wasn't not early. Not early.
I know.
Not early.
I know.
You know what? Thank God that I married a basketball player. You know, my wife's an athlete, so she played college ball. She averaged 20 and 10. But she's still a mom, you know, and she didn't want to see her babies, you know, leaving too soon, you know. But PJ, you know, that was his dream. You know, that was his dream. Is he said, Dad, I want to be on a USA team. I want to go to Kentucky. I want to be an All-American. I want to go to Jordan game, and I want to play at Kentucky. And he said, I want to go in the lottery. So I said, if you want to do that, do you know anybody else in Frisco doing that? He was like, no. I said,
no.
I said, you can't be the big fish in the small pond, son. You got to get out of here.
Wow. That's a good analogy there. Wow.
Goes, then, you know, I'm gonna do everything as a father I can to help you, you know, succeed.
Yeah.
I just saw an interview today actually that he did a while ago in the offseason. And the lady actually said, "What was the 3 biggest moments of your life? You know, the 3 different trying times." And he said, you know, when he said in 5th grade when him and I had that talk, and his dad, you know, we wrote down those, and I said, write them down. You know, this ain't nothing we're gonna talk about. We're gonna write them down. So he wrote them down. And we accomplished everything. He said that was tough. The other one was going to Finley Prep, you know, leaving Frisco, you know, in 10th grade and leaving from his family. That was a tough. And then the third one he said was, you know, staying back that extra year at Kentucky. You know, after he could probably come out being a freshman, but if he go back, rededicate himself, you know, he'd go a little harder. So, you know, it's good to see that he understood those adversities and he made those decisions and those things. And I would just tell you, man, is you gotta put your family first, put God first, put your family first. And like you said, don't listen to, because I didn't, you know, we had Wes and all them other people in Texas telling me, man, you got to go, you know, you got to play for Team Texas. You got to be on this night team. You can't make it here. You can't do that. All I know.
Use on the blacklist. You got put on the blacklist, didn't you?
Man, we create our own thing, right? We did our own program. You know, I created my own. You know, black owned, black operated for a while. I didn't care. You know, and you know, as you know, we had tournaments, man. I did camps, AAU, all that stuff. So just do it. I mean, like you, I met you in the gym. You know, you meet a lot of guys out there, man, and it's really no right or wrong way. You just do what you feel is best for your kid, and you try to do it the right way. You know, and the NBA ain't always the success. Sometimes it's just a kid getting out of the situation they was at. Sometimes it's going to college, finishing a degree. You know, so success is a lot of different things to different people. You know. So that's kind of how I look at it, man. Just do what's best for your family and put them first, and don't be selfish, don't be greedy, and the money and all that stuff, it'll come. You know, you can't chase it. It'll definitely come.
All right, I'm just trying to text this right here. Biggest regret, Paul, all this time. Is there any one regret, man? If so, what was that? In your handling and how you brought.
You know what? You know, I would tell you. The biggest regret I got is that I didn't quit my corporate job soon enough. You know, I actually waited till they was in, you know, like 5th grade, 4th, 5th grade, stuff like that. I wish I'd have done it earlier. You know, and became a teacher and spent more time with them because that was just something that, you know, that made a big difference for them. You know, one day I was sitting in the kitchen. And my son, PJ, was sitting next to me. And I used to work for CarMax. And that's how we got to Texas. From Chicago. I was a general manager for the one out in Irving. And that was a big one out there. So I'm out there doing that. And I'm out there working all those hours and stuff, man. And I didn't realize that my kids didn't know me, you know, from that standpoint. So he's sitting next to me, and he called in the other room for my wife and asked, can he get something out the refrigerator? And I'm sitting right there, Paul, and I'm like, man, that just blew me away. You know, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, man, your son don't even know you, you know, and you can have a 500-some-thousand house, a boat over here. You can have a Mercedes. It don't matter. If these kids know who you are, then it's time, man. I can never get that time back. I can always make more money. I can always get a job, but I can never get that time back with my kids. So I would just tell you, man, just being a father, being a husband, being around your kids and stuff like that is priceless. And that's what they remember the most, you know. When you wouldn't, you know, not when you
agree.
So
agree. Man, that has been a hell of a ride with you, man. You know, like I said, you and I have done some major talking throughout all those moves pretty much. You know, back in the day. You know, I had some times with Chris Giles on the line several times that, you know, I wish his story could have, you know, been over on the same plight, because you guys were, those two kids were Batman and Robin. And like I said, you know, when they first hit the scene, you just never thought you'd see you two guys break up. I've watched you guys go through that. I've watched the maturation process of where PJ is now. You know, we've talked about that tonight, man. We've talked about what you guys are doing for the future and so forth, man. So good to see you, man, doing it big right now, like you're doing, you know, you and your wife down in Mexico. This is what, man, you know, you look back at all them days back then, man, this is what it was all for, man. You know what I'm saying? And with that said to you, man, you know, like I said, I definitely appreciate you always taking my calls and so forth, man. You've never been too big for me.
No.
Definitely appreciate that, man. You man. My boy John Hall told me to tell you need to stop by Hall's Chicken when you're in town. You know, don't act too uppity on him is what he told me to tell you.
My man.
You know,
my man.
He said he still got that those 3-piece wings for you, man. So
hey, man, I'm trying to lose weight, man. I'm trying to get my arteries clean. I can't be going time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. So, but man, like I said, I'm so appreciative for you taking the time out to come on, man. Again, like I said, man, you know, it just, I think back in all them days, bro. Yeah. Back in them days, man, we seen some times, and I'm just so glad to know that a guy like yourself, man, and his kid made it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and not just because it's just the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, guys went to Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? You know, went to Finley Prep. You know what I'm saying? You played for national championships and so forth, man. You know, this is what you start out doing this for when you're doing it with your kid, man. And to see you, to know a person that actually achieved that, man, warms my heart, man, tremendously, man. Like I said, I thank you for always coming on, man, with me. And this will be the first of many to come, because, you know, we got that fat contract that's getting ready to come up, the max deal, whatever that, you know, that we're going to end up having to talk about.
You know, it's funny. I texted before every game. In this game, I told him, board man gets paid. You know, so he texted back, yes, sir. Board man gets paid. So, yeah,
no doubt. So good to see, you know, such a good kid too, man, just reaping the benefits of hard work paying off.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be a joke to some of them kids, you know, when we used to say that. And PJ is you know, embodies the reality of that phrase, man. And I'm so happy for you guys. Paul, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I know you got a wife in there that's waiting on you right now, man. You know, hey, birthdays, you know,
birthday
I get that.
Birthday
you know?
week. Yeah.
It's birthday week. Yeah. Birthday week.
Right.
So I'm gonna let you go handle your business on that. Again, tell her I said hi.
Okay.
God bless you for, you know, taking some time out for me, man. I'll talk to you another time.
Okay.
And
we'll get PJ on the line probably in the summertime, like you said, or when he's on a road trip. We'll get him out there for you.
No doubt.
All right.
You know, I got Fox going to be doing the same thing. You know, man, I'm in touch with all the old dudes, man. You know, from back in the day. So we ought to have one. I'm going to might have one big reunion night. You know what I'm saying? With all of us, I could have 10 people on and so forth. So I think that's what I want to kind of do one day, man, and just talk about their process, how they made it, and so forth to back in them days, man. So again, thanks again, Paul.
All right, no
I
problem.
appreciate you, man.
All right, man. I'll salute.
Have a good evening, man. Stay safe.
We'll see you soon, man. Take care. All right. Thanks, Paul. All right. Bye.
There he is. My man, Paul Washington, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Man, that just really warms my heart, y'all, to actually know somebody that went through some struggles, to get to where they're at right now. Good for the Washington family. I hope you guys enjoyed that piece, that conversation here. We're going to be having him on a couple more times because there's a lot more stuff in detail that I want to touch bases with you parents on today that parents of the past had to go through. That's something somewhat a little bit similar. Don't let people just tell you, oh, the parents ain't what they used to be. Because no, they used to be, we had some issues too. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, you guys are getting it a little too far out of hand and so forth, but this show will kind of go in that direction and try to talk about that stuff. I know Kendall Perkins kind of put some kind of sledgehammer, if you will, on the GSE tournament this last weekend down in Houston, and said some kind of terrible things about the parents of the day, or better yet, the AAU game of today. And those are going to be some of the conversations there and dialogue that we're going to trickle into as this show progresses, as we start getting the viewership and so forth. So I definitely want to take time to get you guys to tell your friends, remind them about this show. This show is going to be, about the kids, about the programs, about the coaches, the directors, the tournament guys, tournament directors, the programs, even referees. I mean, anybody that has anything to do with youth basketball on all levels, we're going to try to try to get this thing involved with, and somewhat of a everyday, or should I say, a weekly symposium of how can we get this game cleaner. That's my motive in all this right now. I do appreciate you guys spending time with us today. We went a little over today. Shout outs to Dallas Hobbs of Lone Star Elite. He was my player of the week, my stock riser of the week. Dallas Hobbs for his magnificent performance, especially in the game against team Trey Young, 22 points. Big time statement for him. Kid is looking to improve his rankings, and he's going at everybody that's ahead of him. So if your name is ahead of him in that rankings, be on guard when you play him, because he's looking for you. So just want to give a shout out to him. Again, big shout outs to Coach Buffington for Kellen Buffington, not Coach Buffington, Kellen Buffington of the TB5 reports for the tournament on the opening day. Great time there. Definitely want to thank my guest tonight, Nina Zavala, for coming on. Shawn Ward with 3D Hoops Academy. Frank Byers, a former AAU player that came through our streets right now, our South Side, and is in school, really making a difference in today's world. Thank you, brother, for coming on. And then, of course, Paul Washington Sr. For coming on and chopping it up with us like we used to do back in the day. I'm Paul Miranda with the Real Talk Nation. You can tell I'm getting tired right now. The Real Talk Nation, trying to give you something new, something fresh. Definitely keeping it different from all the rest.